Hey, yo, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this message basically is going to be about death is more important than community and culture. Death in America is more important than community and culture. The reason why this has to be said is because there are people in the community who feels that the culture, all that it represents, hip hop, the whole entertainment culture, all this culture, right, is more important than anything. Like it's gonna be a forward march regardless. It's gonna be a forward march regardless with black community. It ain't gonna be a forward march when it's death going on. It ain't gonna be a forward march when all this death is going on. It's too much death going on for it to be a forward march. That's the real message that I need to be kicking. That's the real title of this. How is it gonna be a forward march when there's all this death is going on all the time? And see, you are biased about it. As a community, you biased about it. But God is not biased about it. So you have to understand that death is more important. Destruction is more important of an issue than the forward march or the advancement of a culture or a community. In other words, how the black community going to advance with death? It's almost like a obvious thing, a no-brainer, oxymoron almost. How the black community gonna continue when they die? And see, what has happened, what has kept this perspective on forward march with death going on, what has kept this perspective of forward march and advancement with death going on, what has kept this perspective is bias perspective. If you're biased, you're going to think, oh, well, we just going to continue to go on. We just going to continue. That's why people have to understand there's the righteous African empire and the wicked African empire. What you want to preserve is not what God want to preserve. Let's kick the facts. What you're trying to preserve, God is not trying to preserve that. And that's what you're in denial about. The fact that God does not want to preserve what you want to preserve. He don't want to preserve that. And you think that some way some of you think that God is in it. Some of you think that it's got to go on regardless. How does it got to go on regardless? Look at America. Your president is now under fire. Right now as we speak, as I make this video. How are you going to go on when they're not going on? That's another message in itself. How is the black community going to go on when America's not going on? And that's why you should have been more involved and more realizing of America and more realizing of your own community. If you would have been more realizing of America, having child marriage, you would have been able to usurp over them and take power. If you would have been more real with yourselves, then you would have been confronted black on black crime. The most influential people would have tackled it. You notice there haven't been any up-to-date, famous, stop the violence kind of famous concerts or telethons. Think about what I just said. There has not been any black on black crime telethons with famous people like it should be. Like with all the famous people coming together in some type of telethon type of manner of singing songs to bring the black community together on live TV, national TV, some type of program of all the famous Americans pleading with the community to stop the violence, to stop the killing. That hasn't happened in modern time, has it? Now imagine if it did, though. Imagine if this had continued. It may seem corny to some people, but hey, look, how is it going to stop if you don't have nobody pleading, right? That's influential. You need influential people. You need all these celebrities that y'all love. You need the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's to start telling you to stop the killing. Until they start telling you to stop the killing. If they don't tell you to stop, you ain't gonna stop. You need influential people in your community. You need the Lil Waynes and all the people that you respect, the Drakes. You need all of them to have some type of telethon to plead with the people to stop the violence. They need to hear from the likes of those type of influential individuals. Otherwise, all they gonna do is pick up on all the violence that comes through the music and the culture, and that's what they gonna go with. And it's not gonna be an advancement of anything if there's death. God is not gonna allow it. That's what you gotta understand. It's out of my hands. This isn't what I have to help you understand is this is not a bitter plead or a bitter message against a specific type of people. You may think I'm salty or bitter. I'm a prophet of God. You may think I'm mental. You may think I'm bipolar. I'm a prophet of God. Yeah, something that many people don't understand. And how I know, I'm going to go over how I know I'm a prophet. Not assuming or self-proclaimed prophet. I've said stuff and it happened. That bottom line. That's how I know. That's how I know. Now I can't speak for anybody else. When you say stuff and it happens, then you can say, okay, yeah. You can't deny it. You know? So for the record, for those who say, well, how you know you're a prophet, that's how I know. Okay? The American community cannot think they're going to advance their culture and their movements if there's death going on the way it is. Because God doesn't see no need. Okay? Think about it. You think God sees a need for you to advance and you're killing each other? Because listen, you got to remember, you've been biased about it. You haven't been serious about it. You've been biased about it. No, you ain't been serious about it. You've been biased about it. You've been desensitized about it. Look up the word desensitized. You've been desensitized. You've been callous concerning the black on black crime in the community. That's what you've been biased about it. You're playing around people like me. And it makes absolutely no sense because at the end of the day, you're killing each other. But you're worried about what I'm saying. You're worried about what I'm doing. And I don't even have a famous platform. You tried to make a famous platform. You tried to publicize me famously. But at the end of the day, I'm not being paid to be a famous person. You chose to put me in your politics. But yet you're not focused on, you're focused on somebody that basically is an everyday person that's a prophet. I get the job done, but as far as me and your community goes, they don't know me and they shouldn't know me. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, here they are. So you want to play a game so we can play it. Okay? You killing each other and you think you're going to forward march. You think you're going to advance and you're not. You play with a prophet of God and you think you're going to forward advance and you're not. You're not going to forward advance. Nobody, no community, and no culture is that important. That's what you have to understand. You have been biased. You have made yourselves gods. You have made your cultures gods. We are made in the image of God, but we are not God. That's the difference. It's one thing to be made in the image, and it's one thing to be God. Big difference. Big difference. Understand the difference between the image, being made in the image of God, and being God. You ain't, if you were God, then how come you ain't delivered yourself? How come all these other communities have prosperous communities and you have not yet delivered yourself as the black community? Okay, then we have to admit our limitations, right? See, the thing is, see, the problem in America is people like to bully people and play with people. I'm not the person to bully because I got horns. I got horns too. Now you see. Yeah, you try to bully me and I got horns too. That part. Yeah, I got horns too. And now you know. Yeah, this ain't high school, man. And that's what makes me think a lot of y'all didn't grow up mentally. You think you're gonna bully me and think this is high school. I got horns too, bro. Now you know that. Now you know that. Now you're trying to make it work in your benefit, but it ain't gonna work in your benefit. It ain't gonna work in your benefit. I'm a totally capitalize in this situation and you're not going to. And that's what you're not gonna like. I am gonna totally benefit and you're not. Okay, let's cut it. Let's cut it pure and as it should be, right? I should get justice and you should kick rocks and walk away. Boom. Meaning you don't benefit at all. That's not the issue of you benefit. You benefiting is not the issue at all, or an issue at all. Me getting justice is everything. Now you see what I'm saying. So you will not benefit, and I will totally benefit. That's a 7 hour. Yeah. Now that's where we at. Where you ain't got listen. You, in far as you concerned, you shouldn't even be here. You should have never been here. So ain't nothing gonna happen for you. You understand what I'm saying? You shouldn't have been here. Nothing is gonna happen for you. Okay, whether you like it or not. Now you understand your limitations. It's important. See, God will show you your limitations before you die. Because some of y'all think y'all can play with God and play with God's people. No, before you die, He's going to show you can't do it. He's going to show you can't do it. He's going to show you your limitations, and then you die. That's going through the romance of real warfare. It's a romance with the big dogs, like me. I don't claim to be a king. I'm a prophet, and I'm in warfare. I am a soldier. Right? And when you play with us, we're going to go through the whole romance of warfare. I'm gonna do a message on that. The romance of warfare. We're gonna go slow. We're gonna take it real nice and slow. And we're gonna go through the whole romance, and we're gonna show you can't beat me, you can't beat my mind, you can't beat my heart, you can't beat my soul. We already covered that. You didn't make me impure, you tried to corrupt me. You tried to make me out to be a pedophile. That didn't work. I'm pure. Everybody see that. You try to make me out to be a racist. I got more funk than the average black person. Now you see that. Hey, then you try to make concerning my soul, you try to get me to do that, and I won't sell out for no reasons. And now you see that. I won't sell out for money. I'm advancing the kingdom of God with money. You see what I'm saying? So these are the romance levels of warfare. You see that you couldn't beat my mind. You see that you couldn't beat my heart or my soul. Now we're going to another phase. Now we're showing you who you are. Now we're beating your mind. Now that you see everything that you did couldn't beat my mind. Now we're going to show you. We're going to properly beat your mind. We're going to put it out. We're going to beat your mind, showing you that you have 44 states with child marriage. So every image that America thought they were, Now you see what I'm saying. This is the real romance of warfare. This is the highest levels. We're romancing you as far as warfare. Now you understand why it's happening the way it's happening. It wouldn't be good enough to just kill you. You want to start all this problem. You want to play games. And you want to play real games. Then we're going to romance you. We're going to show you none of your games work. You can't beat us, and we're going to show you who you are. We're going to go through. We're going to beat your mind. We're going to beat your heart, and we're going to beat your soul. And then you're going to die. That's how it works in the real world. See, in the movies, that's what happens, kind of. You ever seen in the movies where two enemies meet and one is laying on the ground and then they have this dialogue between each other like, yeah, you should have did this and this is why I did this. See, that's going through the romance. He could easily shoot him. But the reason why he does it because he's going through the romance of showing this person how they're beat and why they're beat. That's a slight glimpse of what I'm talking about, except it's on a whole nother level. You laying on the ground and I'm over you with the weapons and I'm showing you why you gotta die and why we're better than you. This is the whole romance. So for people that don't know no better, you would think, oh, why God ain't done it yet then? Well, why God ain't done it yet? Why God ain't struck us down? You look at God as a cartoon. God don't strike us down. Don't send a lightning bolt. You got a cartoon version of God. God is going to slow down and give y'all the whole romance. Now you got COVID-19. Boom. Now you're getting romanced and shown. Now you see your limitations. Now your president is under fire. Boom. That's your head man. That's your head man. I showed you got 44 states with child marriage. Boom. That's for all the people that want to laugh and play games concerning pedophilia and all that. Laugh about that part. Laugh about the part that you got 44 states with child marriage. Laugh about how funny that is. Huh? Laugh about how funny it is that America got the world record for the lowest age of consent. They were having sex with 7-year-old girls in the state of Delaware in 1880. No one has surpassed that world record. America, the United States of America, not Canada, not Mexico, not anywhere else. The United States of America, the mainland America, has the world record for the lowest age of consent. 7 years old, having sex with 7-year-old girls. So see, you going through the romance. We showing you, we're romancing you. We could have easily killed you. God showed you that. He put COVID-19 on you. Yes, it's a plague from God. I can confidently say that. And I'm going to do a message on this too. All these preachers, you shucking and jiving, and you know that you feel in your spirit, if you got the Holy Ghost, that this is a plague from God. Stop playing, man. Stop playing. Stop talking about you going to wish it away. The first thing you want to do is wish it away, and you know you serve a God of judgment. You know you serve a God of judgment, and you talking about wishing away all this stuff. You need to slow down a little bit. Slow down. And get real quiet. And just listen to the country that you're sitting up praying for and that you're fasting for. Just be real quiet and listen to them. Be real quiet and watch what they're doing on TV. Be real quiet and listen to what all the stuff that they talk about. Get real quiet in your spirit and look at all these laws that they've been passing. 50 states with gay marriage. Huh? They passed their last child marriage law 3 years ago. Huh? They passed their last child marriage law 3 years ago. Even the novice spiritualists would think that that's karma, or what you would call reaping what you sow. I don't believe in the religion of karma. Let's read between the lines. Let's not be slow. Some people can use a term, but it doesn't have the energy. behind it. Just like you celebrate Thanksgiving and everyone knows that doesn't have the right energy behind it. You celebrate our right history behind it. You celebrate Christmas, and the Catholics are the one that started that. So let's not try to split hairs and try to be funny and be so smart we're stupid. Okay? Now if you walking around with the religion of karma or the religion connected to karma, that's a different thing. But if you're using the term in a sense of definition, because there's definitions of many terms, and as times modernize, many terms are used for different reasons. It is not the same energy. So don't be so smart that you're stupid. When I say karma, I'm not talking about a religion. I'm talking about the I would say the cause and effect situation, right? I'm talking about chain reactions. I'm talking about reaping what you sow, reciprocity, getting what you deserve. That's what we're talking about. And any novice, spiritual novice will tell you that it looks like America is going through bad karma. Huh? It looks like America is going through bad karma. They ain't going through good karma. So when you get to the bottom of karma, you understand that it identifies who's really wrong. See, when you look at karma, it tells you everything. Look at my karma. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed. I'm always prevailing over evil. I'm never succumbing to 1 centimeter or 1 element of anything they talking about. It never overtakes me, ever. Look at their karma. They got 44 states with child marriage. We find that out. Their president under fire. Black people around here killing each other. People, New York City pushing people on trains. New Yorkers pushing people on trains and stuff. You can't be serious, man. How you right? That means I'm right. Because karma shows us that. Karma shows us who's right and wrong. Well, if you're right, then why is everything going so wrong? If you're right, then if you're right and what you're saying is true in the context that you're saying it, how come everything is going wrong for you? All of a sudden, since 2020, all of a sudden, everything's going wrong for you. It's not like this gradually happened. This is all of a sudden. That's how karma works. Look, man, it's all of a sudden. This didn't happen in the past 10 years. All of a sudden, your country is going through hell. And it's because of the things that your countrymen have done here in America. And you can sit up here and shuck and jive, and you can sit up here and gyrate and percolate all you want. And when you get done percolating and shucking and jiving, when you get done doing all that, I'll still be right here telling you, you got bad karma because of the stuff that the American people did. They put you in this situation, particularly secret societies, the Freemasons and the Illuminati. Those secret society groups put you in this situation. They wanted to play games with your community. And God was not feeling that. Right? And that's why you have the situation you have. Plain and simple. Now you can take and do what you want to do with that information. You can sit up and act like that's not the situation, and you can deceive yourself, right? But those secret societies went around gang stalking Christians for fun, thinking it's fun, and God wiped their smile away. God took their smile away. And you know what he did after he took their smile away? He gave them a mask. He gave them a mask. Took your whole smile away and hid your mask and hid your smile behind a mask. God doesn't play any games, buddy. You do. We don't. It ain't nothing you can say. You can sit here and try to save face like you still playing some game. Come on, bro. You got COVID-19. You got people dying all the time. Your president is under fire right now as we speak. That's a 7 hour. You can't be serious. You can't be serious, man. I mean, you got to be a brain. You got to have a brain of a 13-year-old to think you winning. You got to have a brain of a 13-year-old to think you can do something about this, because most people know COVID-19 is a means to an end. Well, if one bat started it, what would it be for anybody to come back from a different country and come over here and start it all over again? If one bat, an animal, a bat, right? As in a bat, an animal. If one bat started it, why can't one human from another country come with COVID-19 come here 2 years from now and start this all over again? Now you see where we at. All it takes is one person and it starts all over again. That's what you need to look at. That's what you need to realize. That's what you need to look at. Because as long as you sit here and think you're getting back to normal and you're not paying attention to common sense things, you're not paying attention to logic. Logic tells you it's no way it can go away. How is it going to go away? How? Listen, America, and I'm going to keep doing videos about this. America will have to clean up the entire world in order to be protected from COVID-19. You can't just clean up America. Be like, well, I cleaned up my spot. We good over here. We cleaned up our spot. Look at our country. We cleaned up our spot. Y'all got to clean up your spot. Yeah, you can play that game if you want to. You can play that game if you want to. If you do not clean up the world, we're going to see where your heart is at. Because if you don't clean up the world, America, and you talking about you cleaned up your spot, somebody can come right back over here and start this all over again. Yeah, God got you good, didn't he? Because it ain't no me. Like, how you going to get rid of that? How you going to get rid of it when people got vaccinations and still getting killed by COVID-19? They still dying from it. How you going to get rid of something like that? God got you good, buddy. And ain't no way in the world you can't tell me that's a plague from God. It's too excellent. It's too excellent. And in all actuality, quite frankly, you're too deserving of a karma. You're too deserving of COVID-19. Well, you either know what's going on in America or you don't. Do everybody know what's going on in America? I got to do a video about that too. You don't, do you? But you who do know what's going on, yeah, you're trying to act like all this stuff hasn't been going on. Listen, man, you know what's been going on, and you know what time it is. So you can sit up here and act like it's something else, and you know you lying to yourself. You lying to yourself. This all happened because these secret societies went around gang stalking, playing with people for fun, and look what happened to them. And that was it came from these foolish suburban white people that like to come into society and play. Woohoo, woohoo! Hyped up on cocaine and coffee. Hyped up on cocaine and coffee. Thought you was going to come down here in the jungle and play games. Now look at you. Yeah, you're trying to save face, man. But listen, how you going to save face in the middle of COVID-19, man? Man, please, man. Ain't nobody cares about what you're doing. Anybody care about that anymore? Nobody cares, do they? No one cares about that, right? When the world looks like it looks. When your president is under fire. No one cares about what game they're playing. See, the more time goes by, these gang stalkers are going to look more goofy. They're going to look more harmless, actually, because there's more danger. There's things that's more alarming to people than them. Like maybe in the 90s, they may have made someone feel fearful, but gang stalking in 2023 is not something that really alerts the average person. So we've adapted to you which is part of which is what humans always will do. We've adapted to your gang stalking, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, you thought you was wearing us down. We've adapted. Now it don't mean nothing. Man, come on, the black man can adapt to anything. All that foolish stuff you've been doing, man, we don't care nothing about that. Listen, it's already too far gone, man. We won. You know what I'm saying? And all you're doing is going through the motions. That's all you're doing. You're going through the motions, out here trying to save face, riding around because you can't live with yourself. You're humiliated. Yeah, you're humiliated. And listen, we sitting back with victories with nothing to prove. Everybody already know what it is, man. Anybody got a brain with a brain and eyes to see and ears to hear, they already know what time it is, man. We won. Okay? Now you can sit here and try to save face, but you're not going to do anything worse than what God has done to you. God put a plague of COVID-19 on your community because you chose to gang stalk a prophet and Christians and all both of that. It wasn't just me. They gang stalked Christians too. But they did it to me on a higher magnitude than they did to the average Christian that's here in America. Some Christians are going through it, but not to the magnitude that I went through it. Not how I went through it. From state to state, on foot, on the highway, walking on the highway, gang stalked all through the highway, all through the whole country. And what they did not know or take seriously, well, they couldn't have possibly known that I was a prophet. And now that's why you have the problems you have. Now that's why a plague is on your country. Because we won, and after God went through the romance of showing you we won, then he put COVID-19 on you. Now take that. Because I beat all the gang stalking that they did through California, through Florida. I beat it all, and then left California, and then you got the plagues that you got. We're going through the romance of warfare. That's why we're not zapping. That's why you're not zapped to death. You expect God to zap you. You think like a child. God is not going to zap you. He's going to romance you, then kill you. So you got the black community that thinking they a beacon of light that they're not. Well, if everybody else falling here in America, how you standing? What makes you stand? Can you explain it to me? I ain't talking about well wishes and hoping for the best. I'm talking about what you're doing now, presently. What makes you stand today? What makes you be able to stand before God today? I'm not talking about tomorrow or 10 years from now. What makes you stand today as a community? We talking about war today, not war tomorrow. We talking about war today, not war 10 years from now. What makes you stand today? Why is God going to pass over your community and not kill you? Why should God pass over your community and not kill you? Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why? Why shouldn't God kill you? When you've been killing these kids and these kids been getting killed by your community. Yeah, those kids are special to God. You think they're special to you, which I doubt that. Well, you don't protest about it properly. But they're special to God. They're special to God, which means, hey, you can get killed for what you do, for what has happened to these children. So you can't tell me a reason why your community should advance past the death that is projected on the entire community. Why should you continue to go on? And so the problem. See what the prophet has to do, and it's a hard job, but he got to also show black people they ain't going nowhere either. I know it's a hard and tough and sad job, but somebody got to do it. Because it's all this killing that's going on, and you still think you're going to advance, and you think it's forward march. It has a forward march when people have been losing their lives. The same people that you think should be talking about forward march, that should be being preserved into a forward march, is being killed. So how come you ain't being killed right beside them? Oh, because you're black, right? They were black too. See, that's the last stage, is that even those who have been oppressed, unfortunately, have to be addressed in this country as also casualties of war. You're also casualties of war, man. Because listen, you partied too long. You partied way too long. You partied through the 80s, the 90s, to the first decade of 2000, and the second decade of the 2000. You've been partying for four decades. 80, 90, 2000, and the second decade of the 2000. You've been partying for 4 decades. You've been partying for over 40 years. And you think nothing is going to happen. You've been partying since the civil rights and fighting properly as you should have fought properly. Now, past that time when crack cocaine and everything else came on the scene, gangbanging and all this stuff came, you've been partying for 40 decades, and now you want to wake up. It doesn't work like that. Now you see where you at. Yeah, you want to be awake now, but you've been asleep for 40 years as a black community. Yeah, let's address that part. I need to do a video on that. You've been asleep for 4 decades and you want to wake up and shake yourself, and it's too late. It's already too late. They got too many situations. They've been advancing already in ways that you have not yet realized. And now someone comes like me out of your community and you think I am per se for a particular community. Not when you've been asleep and killing each other. You got it all wrong. And see, and you got to listen. You got to address the fact that you wronged me too. You've been killing each other and you wronged me. You listen, you put me in, some of you may have been for me, but a lot of them were not. And they did many things that you have not brought reconciliation concerning. You have not come to terms to what the black community has done to me. You can sit here and hide, and you can sit here and shuck and jive, but I got the Holy Ghost, and I'm already aware of most of the stuff you've done against me, individually speaking. I'm already aware of it. So for people that know the real politics, it shouldn't even strike you as strange that all of this is happening. You just don't think it's going to turn up and happen more to you. You think it's going to happen to these white folks. You think it's going to happen to the government only. Oh, it's going to happen to you too. It's going to happen to you too. Because you've been sitting up here playing games with me, and you've been throwing the rocks and hiding your hand like I don't know no better. Yeah, you danced a good dance, but we seen you dancing the whole time. We seen everything you was doing. See, but God sent me through the romance of all of it, right? He sent me through the romance with you to show you that I'm more black than half of these people. I'm more true to true blackness than half of y'all. Now you die. Now that you see that I'm blacker than you, now you can die. Because we couldn't let you die thinking I was a racist, thinking you were more blacker than me and you was more down to the black cause than I was. Nah, we couldn't let you die like that. We couldn't let you die believing some foolishness like that when you sitting around here killing each other. Now you can die. Now that you know I got more funk than you, I got more soul than you, and I'm more connected to black cause, now you can die. This is how real romance works. This is how real romance works. This is how it works. And now you think you can do whatever you want. If you send anyone against me, we will wipe you and your families totally out. And that's not a threat, it's a promise. It's a promise from the word of God Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. If you come against me, we will destroy everything. We're not playing any games. You played enough games, you played enough Mickey Mouse games just with the white people. You're just as goofy as the white people these days. And you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay with your lives. God is gonna make you do that. And you can get mad all you want. You can come around and try to pull up all you want. It ain't nothing gonna change because you know what you've done, and you know to the magnitude of how much you've done it. So it's no need to sit up here and shuck and jive and play like you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm way beyond that. You have not deceived me. We just went through the romance of showing you that you're not as black as you think you are. You're not as down for black cause as you think you are. You're not as black as you think you really are. Now you see someone that is. Now you see that I got more funk than you. I'm pretty sure you realize that now. That's the romance of the situation. We had to romance you first. Now you understand. Now I understand. Because I didn't quite understand it myself. Why you wasn't dead yet. But now I understand it. Because you had to be properly romanced on principle of facts and truth being revealed. The truth had to be revealed before you died. That half of y'all been asleep and you ain't got no business talking about anything, really. Because you've been asleep too long to put your sleep slumbering morning breath on anything. Your breath, you got morning breath. Sitting up, breath stinking with morning breath, talking to me from being asleep all for 4 decades, sitting up talking to me about blackness. See, you fail to realize I've been a Christian for 23 years. Yeah, I didn't just become a Christian in 2 years. I've been a Christian for over 23 years, right? 24 years, right? Bro, you can't be serious. I've been on this journey. I know you seen my lifestyle. You thought, but see, the Bible says a just man shall fall 7 times and rise up again. And now you dance your last dance. You've been shucking and jiving and gyrating and dropping it, and now it's all over. See, you got to realize, you should realize when Michael Jackson, everybody got to die. That's for all you famous people. That should make you shiver a little bit. If he died, you know you can die. I know you think you're so special. You ain't more special than Michael Jackson. You ain't more special than Michael Jackson. As far as your talents go, as far as your music goes. So if he can die, why you think you can't die? See, that's what your little community need to realize. If Michael Jackson can die, all y'all can die. As far as all your stars can die. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to, you know what I'm articulating. You know what I'm insinuating. All them famous people that you so dearly love, that you think can't die, that's immortal to you, they can be taken away just like Michael Jackson. And all you beautiful women that worship yourselves, that worship how beautiful you are and all of this, that, right? If Marilyn Monroe can die, you know you can die. If Marilyn Monroe can die, beautiful as she was, you know you can die, right? I'm trying to show you all these things that you think can keep you alive can't keep you alive. Think about the most beautiful person that has died that you know. All of them. for the Hispanic and Latino community, and this is no disrespect, because I love Selena, but if someone like her can die, the first Selena, you don't think your beautiful women can die too? Selena died. Selena was killed. You don't think you can be killed? She was more talented than you, more beautiful than many of you. And if she can die, so can you. For all you pretty boys out there that think you can live forever, Prince. Look at Prince. Prince, he was my favorite. I went to see Prince in concert live, right? I went to see Prince, the artist Prince, the musician. I went to see Prince live. And he actually seen me. And he put his hands out towards me like this. But if Prince can die, so can you. For all you guys that think you got it going on, doing your little gigolo thing and all of that. Listen, man. If Prince died, you can die too. You need to hear it like this, because many of you think that these things hold you back from dying. You think death is going to say, well, you're too pretty to die. You're too young to die. If you play out here in this warfare, that's for all you little teenagers. If you play out here in this warfare thinking you under my radar, if you think because you're a teenager and you playing with witchcraft, using witchcraft against me, oh, I'm very aware. I got the Holy Ghost. See, now you know I got the Holy Ghost for real. You think because you're a teenager and you're playing with witchcraft against me, we'll put you in the grave. I will put you in the grave. Okay? Listen, all enemies must die. That's how it is. That's how it is. Because see, what Christians don't know is this has been going on so long. This has been going on so long that it shouldn't amaze everybody that knows what the history. It shouldn't amaze you that it's time for them to die. It's only the people that's in the dark and these people that's out of touch with reality and don't know what's going on out here on these streets, because they're not aware, and many are not in touch with the Holy Ghost, so they can't really call it for what it is. For you're the only ones that's sitting up acting like, well, it don't have to happen. Everybody else don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. People that know the history don't feel that way. They feel they deserve. The main people that you talking about that shouldn't die, they even saying they should die themselves. They believe they should die. Oh no, go check with them. They're ready to die for what they've done. While you sitting up as Christians talking about it doesn't have to be this way. See, you know what you've become? You've become an optimistic cult. Many of you are not Christians for real. No, you're not. Because you only take the positive side and you're not able to take the negative side. You're not able to take the judgment side of God. All you want is to bless me, bless me, bless me. God, make me happy, and I'm going to be happy today. And God is a God of happiness, but God is also a God of judgment. And I'm not talking about no little here and there judgment. I'm talking about heavy, national, international, even earth judgment. I'm talking about that kind of God. While you sitting up with a positive cult, with a optimistic cult, trying to be positive and optimistic. Sometimes you can't be optimistic. Sometimes it's judgment time. It ain't nothing. And the only thing optimistic about it is if you one of God's people, like me. That's the only thing optimistic about it. You got to go through. You got to kind of be here with these people while they go through what they go through. You got to wear a mask for COVID-19 because they got judged. You got to take COVID-19 precautions, washing your hands. You know, you can't forget to do that. Some of y'all done got relaxed and you done got cool You done got cool around COVID. Hey, don't get too cool, because it ain't no game. You trying to be cool out here and show your face and everything, and not coming in and washing your hands. You need to come in and wash your hands like you were doing in the beginning of COVID-19. See, judgment is here. Judgment is here. It is time for these people to suffer. And half of y'all don't know why it's happening. Because you're out of touch and out of time. God doesn't wait forever for a million years. He doesn't do that. That's not how it goes. So all this culture, all this hip hop, and all this stuff that you've been going along and thinking that this is going to preserve your country and hip hop is going to go on, and how can you think that now? When you lost your favorite, here's a perfect example. You lost your best one of your best rap stars in the rap group Migos. It's a perfect example. When he died, I could feel that it was over for that culture, rap culture and all of that. That was over. That's over. You can keep making music, but the cause is corny now. It's like it's whack. You know what I'm saying? When a young guy like that dies, right? And he's down with y'all. I mean, y'all consider him one of your own, right? Look at what happens to one of your own. Let's say if you do everything right, you live right, you do everything right, you live right by black people. Look what happened to one of your own. Look what happened to one of your own. It's a lost cause, man. It's a lost cause to support that culture and to be part of that culture. Because look what happens when you are a part of it. Look what happens. That's a person that was totally down. Everybody was feeling and everybody accepted from the black community, right? Look what happened to him. That's how you know right there it's over. Because someone that's a part of your culture, someone that's a part of you, once is dead. By the hands of people that's a part of your own culture and community. And you can sit up and talk about how you can address it and dress it up how you want to. But the bottom line is your own people are killing each other and you're out of time. You're out of time, bro. You're out of time. And you thought it was me. And you try to flip it around and act like I was going to do something for you. And I don't see how, because of the disrespect that I received. I don't see how you could think that. What you expect me to do? But because I'm a Christian, I'm supposed to be moving past this. Well, it still is a lost cause. When you losing a person like that, like the guy from the Migos, you losing someone like that, you losing Takeoff, and then so it's a lost cause regardless. Look how many people you lost. Nipsey, at the hands of another person of the black community. That's supposed to be. The guy that killed him was a rapper too. Eric, whatever his name was. He was supposed to be a rapper too. So like, whether you accept it or not, whether you feel like I'm being depressing, or whether you feel like, listen, man, somebody got to live in reality. Somebody got to kick the facts, man. And there's no way in the world you can sit up and think that God is going to be with you in the middle of foolishness. You're going to think that your culture is going to continue to advance and your community is going to advance when it's killing each other. It's not going to happen. God is ready to shut it down. While you talking about advancing. Now you see what I'm saying. Because and the reason why you feel this way is because you've been biased. You've been, oh, well, we're going to keep going, keeping on. But you ain't keeping on. You're killing each other. Don't you see that? And you've heard it so much, I got to take a whole year to show you how you're desensitized. That's the word. It's when you the word desensitized, which I got to take a whole year to get you to see this. Desensitized is when you are calloused. You're calloused and it can't get through to you like it needs to. You're not sensitive to the things that are around you that's happening. You're not sensitive to it. It happens and you feel nothing. But see, here's the catch-22. It isn't that you don't have the power to feel, because soon as somebody that's killed soon as someone's killed in the from the police community, the police community, someone kills you from their community. When someone kills you from their community, you're totally sensitive to it. See, that's why I got to do a video on this when it comes to being desensitized, because when it comes to the white people killing you, you're totally sensitive to that. Everybody's totally sensitive. I don't care how evil the people are. I don't care how much gang banging and smoking weed. I don't care how much killing and pills and all of that is going on, right? Alcohol and all that. Everybody will come out of all of that and be totally sensitive, emotional, in touch with their feelings, crying and everything, protesting and yelling and hooping and hollering like they at a funeral. But let somebody die in your community at the hands of somebody else in your community. You're totally desensitized. Which means to me that your desensitized nature is because you're biased. It's not because you're callous, because we see that through when police kill somebody that's black. We see how you are emotional. You're brought to tears. You sit in front of TV wondering why. But you don't have that same emotion in asking why when it comes to someone, even children, being killed in your community. As a community, collectively speaking, you do not ask why. You do not shout in front of the TV and say why. Not collectively, because you don't protest. We don't see or nothing from you when it's someone black kills someone black. When you hear about these kids being killed on TV, do anybody protest around the country? They don't, do they? So why can't you do that? Why can't you protest against your own community? You know why? Because you're biased. You're biased. And you don't want to admit it. And that biased perspective has made you desensitized. That's what's done it. See, I'm getting down to the wiring in the psychology of the situation. Because we see, like I said, when somebody dies at the hands of the police, you're all up in arms. You're ready to go to war. You're totally sensitive. You're in touch as you're human as it comes. You're human as humanly possible. Right? You're human as humanly possible when the police kill someone in your community. You're human as humanly possible. Everybody's sitting around, talking about it, rallying together, feasting together, talking about change. But you never feast together and rally together when it comes to you killing each other. So you know what that means to me? It's not that you're desensitized as a human. You're not desensitized as a human because when police kill black people, you show your human feelings, emotions, and nature. So you're not desensitized as a human. You're desensitized because you're biased. You're desensitized when it becomes your community killing your community because you're biased towards your community. Listen, you're biased to a fault. That's another thing I'm going to be saying this year. Being biased to a fault. It's one thing to be biased because I'm not saying the whole dynamic itself is wrong. I'm not saying being biased to a degree is wrong because obviously, I mean, when you break down bias, it's because it's people who you are connected with in this context. It's people that you're connected with. It's people that you identify with. It's people that you share a similar struggle with. So, in that sense, naturally, if you're not very highly intelligent, you're going to be biased. You're going to be biased. But when you elevate your mind, right, and educate yourself, you'll realize that being biased will not better your community, actually. What's going to better your community is when you're not biased, when you tell the truth for what it is, so you can get your community to become better. Being biased does not help anything. All it does is hide the shame. All it does is hide the blame. But it doesn't make your community actually better. It's just like a parent that has a child that does evil in the world. And that child can do no evil in your sight. It doesn't make the child better, does it? Do the child become better? The child ain't no better, is he? She's no better, he's no better, right? It didn't work. When you act like they can do no evil, when you act like your community can do no evil, you feel that in some way that's you being loyal. That's not you being loyal. You need to be, first of all, you need to understand as the black community, you need to be loyal to Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X in their perspective. You don't have to be loyal to rappers. They follow MLK. They follow Malcolm X. So, I mean, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but why should I follow a rapper when they follow Malcolm X? Why should I follow a rapper when they follow MLK? Looks like I should be following MLK because they follow them too. If they follow them, that's who I should follow. And see, here's the thing that's so funny about the African American community is that you were all waiting for some big mega attack against you and sell out against you, and you was attacking yourself and selling out yourself the whole time. You was doing that the whole time. Wasn't it you killing each other? On the daily, who's killing each other? You. Who's killing you? You are. Now, if white people was coming and killing you daily like that, you would be more sensitive to it, wouldn't you? That's a 7 hour. Oh, whoa. You would be more sensitive to it if it was white people killing you every day in the ghetto. You would have already rebelled against the system itself, against police, and we would have anarchy if you had the same mentality towards white people that you have towards black people. If you had the same mentality that you have towards black people that you have, if you had the same mentality that you have towards white people that you have towards black people, if that same mentality that you have for white people, you have it towards black people, we would already have it. If you have that same mentality that you have concerning white people and how black people are killing you, if you had that same mentality that how you are sensitive to all this killing and white people had done that to you, the way black people doing it to you, how black people killing you, if white people was killing you like that, you would have had anarchy. We would have had a revolution. You would have rebelled against the government. You would have rebelled against police. You would have rebelled against everything if white people were killing you like black people are killing you. I had to make sure I got that right. If white people were killing you like that, coming in the ghetto, killing you, shooting you down, killing your kids, you would have rebelled against the whole system. That's why I'm trying to show you how desensitized you are because you're biased. If white people were doing that to you, It would have been over a long time ago. But you've been letting it ride because you felt like it was a problem that is among ourselves, and we still are together enough for us to have a sense of community. But how do we really are we really together enough to have a sense of community? Or is it just when white people do stuff that we come together? Is it just when white people come together? Because we ain't coming together for nothing else. We ain't coming together for absolutely nothing else. But when white people do stuff, that's when we come together. Oh yeah, we'll come together then. But we do not come together when it comes to everyday killing that's happening in the black community. We got all the different little cliches and Jedi mind tricks. See, black people got Jedi mind tricks too. Well, I mean, they got to. If they doing black on black crime the most, they killing each other the most, and everything's all good, you know some kind of Jedi mind tricks is being used. They gotta be. They've learned to use Jedi mind tricks just like the white man. See, real Africans keep it simple. Real Africans keep it simple. You're killing each other. You're the problem. That's African is not gonna sit up. So you learn to shuck and jive from the white man. If you go to African tribes, ain't gonna be no whole dialogue about this. You killing each other, you're the problem, case closed. But see the shuck and jive in your spirit? You got that from the white Americans. Because they had to shuck and jive when they was killing you. Boom. Ooh. They had to shuck and jive when they was killing you and shooting you down. Got all the excuses in the world. Got all this foolishness going on. You learned a lot from the white man. Oh, you ain't learned nothing from him? You didn't learn anything from the white man. You didn't learn anything negative from the white man. Okay. I need to do a video on that. How much black people don't learn, how much negative stuff that black people have learned from the white man. You learn how to shuck and jive when you killing each other. That's what he did. That's what he did. That's what he did. He shucked and jive when he was killing you. See, the righteous African empire is the only empire that can deliver you. And you don't want to accept it. I ain't talking about church people. Because they've been sitting back shucking, halfway telling you the truth and everything and not telling you for what it is. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the righteous African empire that's going to tell black people, because these black preachers ain't telling black people what they need to tell them. I mean, he's the only hope, she's the only hope, and they still ain't telling them what they need to know. They're able to judge it properly, and they still not judging it properly. That's a 7 hour. You're not judging it properly, and you have the ability to see it as it really is, and you're not telling them for the sake of rejection. You don't want to be rejected by the black culture. See, listen, you got to remember, Jesus was out telling the truth about everybody. He didn't hold back for no specific ethnicity. Did you hear Jesus hold back on the ethnicity? Oh, that's a 7 hour. Glory to your name. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Did you hear Jesus hold back on some certain ethnicity? You didn't hear that, did you? You didn't see him be biased towards a certain people. He wasn't biased when it came to right and wrong, was he? He wasn't halfway telling the truth and kind of hiding it. Let's read between the lines. You kind of hiding it. You kind of hiding. You ain't kind of saying it like you need to say it. Like, you ain't talking about it like you need to talk about it. You ain't giving it. Your voice does not have the urgency that it needs to have, does it? You ain't saying it plain like you need to say it. You ain't keeping it 100 like you be keeping it 100 about these white folks. Yeah, you'll tell, you'll listen, you'll break out and keep it 100. when it comes to these white folks. You think Jesus was around there? You think Jesus was around in the Middle East? You think Jesus was in the Middle East shucking and jiving with different ethnicities? A lot of these preachers are turkeys shucking and jiving with the black people. I ain't shucking and jiving with nobody. Jesus Christ would have never shucked and jived with any particular ethnicity. If anything, he would feel. Don't you think he would feel more of a responsibility to tell his own ethnicity the truth, to keep them out of harm's way? The truth about themselves so they can be better? But that's not the case. Because see, in actuality, the white man is good with you not being no better. And you're good with you not being no better. That's the 7th hour. Yeah, y'all both good with black people not being no better. Well, you're shucking and jiving. You ain't telling the truth for what it is. So you good. Everything's good, huh? See, that's how the white man wants you. Because see, when you get spirituality, real spirituality, that's what's going to deliver you. The slave masters were afraid of the spirituality of the Africans. Go check the history. Wasn't afraid of how strong you was. He took your might. He took your strength. He wasn't afraid of that. He wasn't afraid of your brain. He wasn't afraid of what you could do to him. He was afraid of your connection with God. He was afraid of your spirituality. He was afraid of how spiritual you were. He was afraid of that. That's what he was afraid of. And that's what he's still afraid of. So as long as you ain't getting no better, he know they study everything. They study aliens, UFOs, and the possibility of all of that. You don't think the American government studies the possibility of spirituality and all these churches and everything around here? You don't think they look at the spiritual, supernatural aspect of it? Oh, come on, that's a 7th hour. You don't think that he look at this? You don't think that the American government, out of all they studies, they study everything. They study absolutely everything, and that's what you have underestimated. The fact that the American government has studied everything that is known to man or is perceivable to man. So you don't think he's seen something supernatural out here? I ain't say UFOs. I ain't say flying saucers. I said supernatural, spiritual. You don't think he's seen nothing spiritual? You don't think so? That explains why he is so diligent, vigorous, zealous concerning your spirituality and watching your spirituality. Because if you were spiritual as a people, you would have been out of that situation. You would have been out the ghetto. You would have been out the ghetto. You would have been prosperous. You would have better clothes on your back. You would have been blessed. And see, what you do is your problem in your community, as soon as you find someone that's spiritual, that is blessed and that comes out, or someone that comes out, what you do, you eat them. That's what you do. And you don't even know you're shooting your own self in the foot. Look at all the people you killed. You always talking about white people doing it. Look at all the people you killed. You killed Tupac, you killed Biggie. Look at the list goes on. But those were the 2 worst killings that you did. Come on, man. Wasn't no government involved in that, man. That was black politics. Ain't nobody stupid. When you know something about the streets, you ain't gonna sit up and talk on no suburban language about the government doing something to government killing Tupac and the government killing Biggie. No, that's suburban language. When you know the streets, you know who did it. It wasn't nothing but bad politics. It wasn't nothing but the street politics. That's what did it. People sitting up, following and watching them around, jealous of them, feeling and challenging them. That's what it was. Challenging somebody that had the power to help your dumb tail. And it ain't changed and it's still the same. Sitting up challenging people that can help you more than you can help yourself. And it ain't no different. It ain't never gonna change. And that's why, as a prophet of God, I ain't got no patience. And I know what I mean when I say patience. I have a zero tolerance for foolishness. Okay, because when you put the prophet of God in your politics, that's when you went too far right there. Listen, man, ain't no reason for you to have had me in your politics at all. It ain't. It really isn't. It's not, no, because everything I'm right about. I know you biased. I hit a biased nerve, didn't I? I hit a biased nerve, huh? Because listen, bias ain't done nothing for your community. Look at the shape that it's in. Okay, you good, then why they ain't good? Okay, so if y'all all operating in a good way, then why isn't good things happening? That's what I'm saying. You're not getting the results that you want. Your community is not looking the way you want it to look. And that is a form of insanity, to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. It's not going to, listen, man, it's not going to work. And the only way out is spirituality. That's the only way out. That's why they fight it so hard, because the government knows real spirituality. That's why they fight me. Why you think they fight me? And I ain't shot no guns. I ain't left nobody stinking. Huh? I ain't killed nobody. Why you think they following me around? Because they know spirituality is real. Uh-huh. They studied it. They know. In fact, the American government studied the Native Americans, the most spiritual Native Americans, and they found out that intuition is in hair. If you have long hair, God has made, just like with animals have defense mechanisms and things, right? So you don't think he did that with humans? See, he did it with humans in many different ways, and we let our society dumb us down to the animal like human instincts that we have. That when we pick up on stuff, it's a way to elevate into where you can really live in that world, right? At all times, right? But people don't know, but people get dumbed down. The American government dumbs down humans so that you cannot have intuition, that you cannot have those animal-like human instincts that you were given by God. They dumb you down. But see, they did a study, the American government, this is facts, they did a study where they went into the Native American tribes to find the most special people, right? And they did a study on them. They laid them down in a real bed, a natural bed, and tried to sneak up on them, like physically speaking. And the special Native American would rise up before they could actually sneak up on them, right? So they concluded that, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, so look, that was the first study. They took a long-haired Native American, tried to sneak up on him, and he rose up out of his bed. This is a real American government study. And he didn't, because he felt it. His intuition through his hair told him that someone was trying to come up on him. That's the animal-like human instincts that God gave us. Right? So they did another study, and they cut the special Native American's hair. They cut his hair, and they were able to sneak up on him because they took his hair, which was a form which gave him intuition when something was creeping up on him. So see, right there, that's a spiritual study. That's a spiritual study right there that they've done. And so you don't think they've done more spiritual studies? And see, but mine has went beyond hair. I'm not like Samson where if you cut my hair, I don't have no strength. It's not. We can use that. We can use the hair intuition, right? Because that's what I believe God has given. If He gave animals these special abilities, like to know and sense things and to see things and see far and hear far and smell far, like a shark can smell blood for miles, I think. Like animals can smell from miles, but then humans are more superior than they are. Follow me, follow me, follow me. I'm gonna do a video on this too. Humans are more superior than animals, and we don't have none of that. We can't hear, we can't smell far, we're totally dumbed down compared to animals. Now, I think your societies have dumbed you down. I think your societies have not been connected to God to know what they can do. Satan comes in and deceives them so that they won't use their abilities. Oh yeah, why would Satan want you to use your abilities? That comes from God. Huh? Keep you dumbed down and broke down in the dirt. With your penis in the dirt. With your vagina in the dirt. And so you got to understand, man, they understand the spiritual aspect of all of this, and that's why they're following me around. You seen any gun? You seen me kill anybody around here? Oh, they told you it was something else. They had me as something else, didn't you? That was so that they could so that was so that I wouldn't be free wherever I went. That's what they did that for. So that you would bring me into some type of captivity, a social captivity. You stupid. See, once something didn't add up to me, once I didn't see proof of something, I'm done with it. If I see somebody is cool, I'm done with it. I'm not gonna keep playing some type of soap opera game like these cornballs out here. Listen, my life is not in their hands. I'm way more spiritual than they realize, and they in trouble. And listen, I don't listen because you have seen these preachers and you think you can't become no greater than them. That's you. They'll be the first to tell you you can become greater than me. I'm greater than all these preachers you talking about. I'm greater than them spiritually speaking. I don't care what kind of money they got. I'm talking about the spiritual part. I'm talking about the spiritual part. They're not doing what I'm doing. So how should they get my results then? Man, when the last time these people went on fasts? And I'm not bragging. I'm showing stats and I'm bringing up numbers. I'm bringing up rank. I'm doing 40-day fasts here and there, 40-day fast there, 40-day fast, 7 40-day fasts unto God. When they doing that? I'm doing a whole week fast. When they doing that? I'm seeking God on whole different levels. And the American government is breaking my constitutional rights, which makes them not American. Well, you can't break constitutional rights and say you're American. The Constitution is what defines us as Americans. There's nothing else. Because people are in poverty, some people are rich, so we can't use wealth and status as a means of defining an American. How you define an American is by the Constitution, the rights that we have here as Americans. That's what defines Americans, the rights that they have here, the way they get to live their lives. That's what defines Americans. So if you're breaking what the laws that define us, you're not American anymore. I don't care if you say desperate times, desperate measures. That's a Jedi mind trick that doesn't work on me. Boom, I'm gonna do a video on that too. That's a 7 hour. You talking about desperate times, desperate measures. That's a Jedi mind trick. I don't care how desperate your times are. If you're not competent enough to do your job according to the constitutional rights of Americans, you are incompetent. This is why you're supposed to have spirituality as even law enforcement and military. Because if you don't have spirituality, and I'm gonna do a video about this too, you will go out trying to kill. You'll be killing innocent people. This is because you're not spiritual. You're going out here trying to fight in a world that's spiritual, not being spiritual, and you wind up causing unnecessary casualties. And you're talking about drastic times, drastic measures. You're talking about drastic times, drastic measures. And the whole reality is you are incompetent. Well, if you was competent, you wouldn't have to do anything desperately, now would you? Do you see me doing anything desperately? Do you hear me talking about desperate time, desperate measures? I'm sitting here chilling, getting it all done, ain't I? That's a 7 hour. You see me leaving my room when all these people driving around playing games and people playing games in the building. You see me leaving the room. You still see it being done, don't you? That's a 7 hour. You still see it being done, don't you? That's what I'm saying. And that's competency. Incompetency is when you got to ride around and manipulate. See, how you know someone's incompetent is they have to manipulate. Well, if you was competent, you wouldn't have to manipulate. Somebody that's poor is fine, and this is no disrespect to poor people. You're financially incompetent. So you have to manipulate and go steal and play con games and go sell drugs. You got to manipulate because you're financially incompetent. Right or wrong? It's the same thing it's the same principle in every situation. If you're incompetent, you're going to have to manipulate. You're going to have to con. You're going to have to lie. The kingdom of God does not have to con and lie to win wars. Boom. That's a 7 hour. I ain't got to manipulate. Listen, you don't hear me out here lying about something. In fact, I'm telling you the truth. 44 states for child marriage is why they gone. Ain't no coming back from that, man. Man, ain't no coming back from it. How you coming back from that? Huh? You coming back from how? How you coming back from it? And did I have to do anything to manipulate? Did I have to do anything talking about desperate time, desperate measures, and I'm the only person over here? And you got all these people running around like I done bombed their country or something. Looking retarded, acting like I done bombed their country. It's pathetic. You can't stop the supernatural. And that's the real facts of the matter. You're lying, you're manipulating, you're lying, telling people lies about me and all of this stuff. You're trying to manipulate in every form and fashion, and it still ain't working, is it? Because you have to realize your limitations as human beings. And now you're not even American because you done broke the constitutional rights of an American so badly that you can't even consider yourself American anymore. That's a 7 hour. Hey, you don't have the luxury of breaking the constitutional rights of Americans and then talk about you're American. You don't have that. You think you have that right. You think you can think you can say you're military and police and community and say we can do this and still be American. No, you can't. Not when you're wrong. Not when you've attacked me. Sometimes it's just time to die. I know you didn't think so, did you? See, the world, the universe is made up like sometimes it's time to die. And see, it's your time to die, and now that's why it looks the way it looks, and you're still trying to do stuff, and you're still here manipulating. In all actuality, you've come to the truth of the matter that I'm right and you're wrong, and it's just time to die. And now that's why none of it makes sense anymore. Because in actuality, it's just your time to die. As a community or system, Definitely a system foundationally, because it's your system that facilitated all of this situation. It's your system that did that. So that definitely has to die. But you're still trying to keep it alive. And now look at the situation for what it is. Your president is under fire, isn't he? Because you're trying to manipulate. You're trying to manipulate through it all. And it still isn't working. So your desperate times, desperate measures, here's the punchline. Your desperate times and desperate measures methods are still incompetent. Boom. That's a 7 hour. Your desperate measures, desperate times approach is still incompetent.